Hey ghouls and gals, welcome back to my channel. My name is Taylor and this is going to be another weekly reading vlog. Today is Monday. That's the day when I normally kick off most of my weekly reading vlogs, and I am currently in the middle of one book at the moment, which is very unlike me, I know. So this is Daughter of No Worlds, the first in the War of Lost Hearts series, and Carissa Broadbent is the author. This is the first in a romantasy trilogy, and you know, I just talked about this book in my last vlog. I'm gonna wait until I'm only like 35% of the way in this right now. I'm going to wait to give like a better synopsis when I finish this first book, I think, because let me know, because I feel like I'm not the only fantasy reader who thinks this. It's so hard to come up with a succinct fantasy summary about a fantasy book where so many things are going on before you've actually read it all to summarize it, if that makes sense. So we are following our main character Tasana. She's pictured on the front of this book and the other two books in the series as well. So the covers really attracted me to pick up this series. She knows how to wield magic. She's from a people who wield magic, and she, from a very young child, was enslaved, and she escaped her captor, her master, and fled to an order of magic wielders that wield the same type of magic that she does, and she is going to train and become a member of their order to free the other enslaved people from the land of Thrall, which is where she is from. The person who is recruited to train her is this very grumpy retired war hero named Max, who is like about her age. She's 21, but he's seen some stuff in the war, so it seems like, you know, he's very early retirement. I think he's in his 20s as well. He very reluctantly agrees to train her, even though she's much older than normal people are when they start their training in their society, but he starts training her reluctantly. I think there's going to be a little bit of a romance there. So 35% of the way through this one, and I am really enjoying it. I'm reading it physically, so I think for my other book, because if you've watched a video of mine before, you know I like alternating books and reading multiple books at one time. So I think I'm gonna pick up an audiobook for my next book, and I haven't figured out what book that's going to be yet. However, I do know I want it to be horror because it's September. I mean, I'm in horror mood. I recently read Stephen King's newest release and really enjoyed it. So it's probably going to be a horror audiobook, but I have to figure out which one that is. But my camera battery is flashing, which is frustrating. So this is gonna be a very short introduction, but I'm very excited to read this book, read some other great books this week, and I will talk to you all later with another reading update. Welcome to the vlog. Hey friends, happy Friday. Yeah, I haven't updated since the very beginning of this week. It has just been such a crazy busy week that I just, you know, vlogs get put on the back burner when it comes to everything that I have on my plate, but I have gotten some reading done. I did finish Daughter of No Worlds. I will be continuing this series. I was a little hesitant. I wasn't sure if I was going to pick it up until maybe page 200. Not saying that the writing before then wasn't good, but I just wasn't really sure if this was going to be my kind of fantasy story where I liked, you know, the kind of fantasy or the kind of romantasy story that I would enjoy. But there is a twist, like there are some different stakes added in there, and I think I'm gonna continue on with book 2 because the ending of this, if the rest of the series is like that, then I'm very much interested. I also know that I might have enjoyed the second part of this book way more than the first part because I was trying the audiobook out for the first part, so I'm interested to see the second book in this series if I enjoy it a whole lot better all the way through, because I will not be picking up the audiobook. I'll just be reading it physically. So I did finish this. Intriguing, good start to a series. And I'll check out the second book with the caveat, if I'm not liking the second book, then I'm probably just going to DNF. Not a hard DNF, but a soft DNF, because just right now I just have so much on my TBR. My shirt even says death by TBR. But I have so much on my plate that the rest of the series, I think they're like 600, 700 pages. So I don't want to force my way through those if I'm not absolutely loving it. So yes, I enjoyed this. This was a good read, and I'm looking forward to checking out the rest of the series. I also started my buddy read with my mom for September, and that would be Vampires of El Norte by Isabel Canas. And I'm so very excited to read this one. It's a vampire story. It's a Western. It takes place in 1840s Mexico. I'm excited for this blend of like gothic horror and historical fiction. I love the Hacienda, so I'm excited to keep reading this one. I am only about 20% of the way through this one, so not too much to say about it yet. I'm only on chapter 6 right now, so I feel like I can't go off too much other than I know this is going to be like vampires versus vaqueros, so yes, very excited about that. But I'm buddy reading it with my mom, which is very exciting. I got her for Mother's Day, I got her a subscription to Book of the Month, so she's been picking out her choice every single month, and then I have been reading whatever choice that she picks. So I was really excited. To be honest, this one was the one that I was most excited about that she's chosen, because we tend to have a little slightly different taste in books. But it's been cool because, you know, I've read some books that I wouldn't have read this year had she not put them on my radar. I'm thinking in particular Wayward. I'm forgetting the author, but now I've seen it like everywhere. It's the one with the blackbird on the cover. So that's been fun reading some books with her. Very excited to keep reading this. I'm also going to be reading it just a little bit slower than my normal reading pace because I am reading it with my mom, and she has 2 of my younger siblings that live with her still, and you know, they've got like sporting events to go to. They're both in high school or junior high, so they've got a lot going on. So she definitely, and she also works, so she's got a lot going on, which makes it, you know, harder for her to pick this up rather than me, who when I'm done with work for the day, I don't have to worry about anyone other than me and my dogs and my partner, but he's an adult, not a child, so it's a little bit different there. So I am going to continue reading this. I'm enjoying it so far. That's really all I have to say about it so far, but so far so good for this one. And then yesterday I also ended up going to the library, went to go meet a friend, get lunch together, and then I picked up some library holds, so a little bit of a library haul for y'all as well. I'm honestly very, very excited about all of these. So first of all, we have the Shadow Cabinet by Juno Dawson, and this is the sequel to Her Majesty's Royal Coven, a book that I really enjoyed last year. So this one I'm thinking of putting it on the October TBR just because it's witchy, but it's not like horror witchy, it's more fantasy witchy, so I feel like this could be a good book to slide in between my horror reads in October. I'm gonna read the blurb for this one because it would be hard to kind of describe this one without spoiling the first one. So in this second installment of Juno Dawson's irresistible fantasy trilogy, our group of childhood friends and witches must choose between what's right and what's easy if they have any hope of keeping their world from tearing apart forever. This is the first, I don't want to say series because I haven't read this book yet, but Her Majesty's Royal Coven 7 was the first modern day witch book that I've enjoyed. I tend to enjoy like historical and like high fantasy witches more than contemporary witch stories, but I was really enjoying this one, so I'm looking forward to checking out the next book in the series. So that was exciting. And then the second book, I'm absolutely adding it to my October TBR. It's one of my most anticipated horror reads, and I don't actually know how to pronounce it. So Schrader's Chord, I think, but this is by Scott Leeds, and this has some of my favorite tropes in horror. Cursed Objects, I think it has to deal with a record that if you play these 4 antique records, you open a gate to the land of the dead. So this sounds so much fun. It's also a lot thicker than I would have imagined. I don't know why, but this is a chunky book. It's almost 500 pages, which is exciting. So October TBR for sure. I'm very excited. Haunted records that open the land of the dead. That's very exciting. And then last but not least, I've just been, I feel like a lot of people, after having read Fourth Wing, I've been in a dragon fantasy mood. So I also requested just whatever I could find at my library that I hadn't heard of, hadn't read, and I have never heard of this one, so I'm excited. So this is The Waking Fire, and this is book 1 of the Draconis Memoria. And this is by Anthony Ryan. As you can see from the cover, this has dragons on it. And it says on the back, The Waking Fire is part Indiana Jones, part Pirates of the Caribbean, and part Mistborn. It's got wonderful, memorable characters and great action. So this is like steampunk dragon fantasy. Very excited about it. So I don't know if this one might be more of a November TBR pick as opposed to October, just because if I'm looking at my TBR, I have a lot of series that I'm going through right now, a lot of series. So you know, we'll see. This might be more November, December, but you never know with me because I'm a mood reader. But little library book haul, very excited about all of those. But I have kind of more of a laid back day today in terms of work, which is so exciting. You never want to end the week, I feel like, on just a long, stressful, busy work day. So pretty light day of work for me today, and then it's the weekend. So I'll hopefully be reading a little bit more, updating a little bit more, updating the vlog a little bit more, but that's all I have for this quick reading update. Finished a book, started another book. I'll probably start another book as well, just because I am reading Vampires of El Norte just a little bit slower than my normal, which is totally cool. Do it for the buddy read, you know, but that's all I have for this reading update. I'm going to go get to work, and I will talk to y'all later. Got the cutest little workout buddies here. Yes, I do. Oh, you're gonna fall. Yeah, just stay. The life of having 2 Velcro dogs, Obi and Bruce. Obi, do not try to grab my shoes, mister. Yeah, we got good boy here, and we got a stinky naughty boy, but still a really good boy. Yeah. Good dogs. They're good dogs. They're like, Mom, why are you walking on this instead of walking us? 'Cause it's hot outside. 'Cause it's hot outside. Hey friends, welcome back to the vlog. It is Monday, and today's not going to be the last day of this vlog because I ended up working a lot more than I thought over the weekend. So I pretty much worked a 9 to 5 yesterday on Sunday, which I was not anticipating, but I did. So I didn't really have a lot of time to read. So I think today is going to be more laid back, and I'm going to take back that weekend reading time that I did not have on Sunday. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna, you know, split it up. Sunday technically was a work day, wasn't a weekend day for me. So I think today I'm gonna take that as a weekend day and get some more reading in, relax a little bit more. I'm just very tired. I'm very exhausted, just because, you know, I did work Monday through Friday, had Saturday off, and then work Sunday. So I think I'm gonna take today off pretty much. I still have some things I need to get done, but gonna, you know, relax a little bit today because that is part of the beauty of working from home. So still working my way through Vampires of Norte. I'm enjoying it. My mom's enjoying it. I don't really have a substantial update. I don't know how many substantial updates that I will have on this because I don't know how long it will take me to read this because I'm waiting on my mom. So I'm about at chapter 7, I want to say. Oh no, I'm on chapter 11. I'm enjoying it. Definitely an interesting mix of like a Western with also like a little bit of gothic romance with some gothic horror as well. So enjoying this so far. Don't have much to say about it other than the fact that the buddy reading is going well. And then the next book that I picked up, I truly was not anticipating picking up. I felt like it. Also, my audiobook hold from the library came in and I had been waiting for months. So I figured, let's pick it up, see what all the fuss is about. That's the Shards by Bret, Easton, Ellis. This is the author of American Psycho, and it's a fictionalized retelling of the author's like senior year in the 1980s in California. There's a serial killer around the area where he and his friends are really like exploring what it means to be a young adult, like a very privileged, don't have any kind of adult supervision young adults. For the first time in their lives, there's a serial killer potentially being like very close or maybe interwoven with their story. So it's like part coming of age story, part thriller. I hesitate to call this a thriller because it's very huge. It doesn't read like a thriller. If you've read American Psycho, then you kind of know this author's writing style. It's very, very much, I want to say almost like info dumpy or tangent like you go on a lot of tangents. You'll have a full page of like the music they were listening to, and then you'll go on to something else, which is very meandering, very interesting because this is a fictionalized account of the author's childhood. So yeah, the dust jacket says it's a sensational new novel that tracks a group of privileged Los Angeles high school friends as a serial killer strikes across their city. The serial killer's nicknamed the Prowler. They haven't gone into a lot of detail about the Prowler. I'm about 10% of the way through this one. They haven't given a lot of detail into the Prowler, but I feel like it's almost very much inspired by like the Golden State Killer or the original Night Stalker, just based on some of the progression and some of the things and like the victimology or lack of victimology that's happening, but very interesting. It's very much like you'll just be following these privileged kids at a party. Some are taking coke, some are suppressing, especially the author who is queer, but suppressing their feelings of homosexuality and being queer and not having the vocabulary to talk about that. And what's interesting is that he, at least in this book, you know, fictionalized, he doesn't necessarily, Bret as a character, I suppose, it's very interesting because he doesn't hate himself. He's very comfortable in the fact that he is gay, and a lot of his friends, or at least one in particular, seem to know that he is and is fine with keeping the secret. He's more or less just saying like he's just waiting for college, for a new start. He's not self-loathing about that part of his identity, but he's just wait until college to come out and kind of explore that area of himself, not in a hidden way because he still does it, which I guess, warning, it's like a very weirdly horny book, which, I mean, the protagonist is a 17-year-old boy or 18-year-old boy at senior in high school, so I guess, you know, that's probably probably accurate. These are very privileged kids. Almost, this is a very strange mix of like Gossip Girl if it was in the 80s, and then like a crime thriller following a group of teens that are like very much plagued by the threat of this serial killer, like that's operating very close to home for them. So very strange dynamic, very interesting dynamic too though. I'm having a fun time reading it. It's very interesting. I think I got off on a tangent here, but our main character Bret is very much exploring his sexuality and kind of taking the chances when he can of like casual sexual encounters with friends and peers from his high school. So we do get a lot of that in there. There's a lot of sexual description. So just keep that in mind. Definitely, I'd say, I feel like he's written more than American Psycho. American Psycho, I think, is by far the most famous. So if, you know, you're used to that very bizarre blend of pop culture and very extreme horror, gruesome body horror explanations, and then also like graphic sexual, just know those are all triggers going into this one. But this is a wild ride. I'm enjoying my time, very interesting. And yeah, I'm gonna have laid back Monday. I'm gonna have laid back Monday. Gonna start the week off on a relaxed note. And yeah, I will talk to y'all a little bit later.
I am trying to read, but as you can see, someone has decided to take a nap right on top of my book, and I can't argue with that face, so no reading for right now. Yeah, you can just sleep on my book, that's okay. It has just been the laziest of lazy weeks over here at my household. Me and my partner just kind of decided, well, we watched The Nun 2 like last weekend. And it was pretty good. It was better than The Nun 1, I think. But watching The Nun 2 in theaters got us like both very much craving like watching a horror movie, like marathon almost, not exactly marathon because we didn't watch them all in one. But this week we've slowly been making our way through the Paranormal Activity franchise, which is very, very exciting for me at least. I've seen all of the movies, most of the movies multiple times. My partner's only seen 1, 2, and 4 before this, so it's been fun. We've been watching like a movie a night, so that has been cutting into my reading time, but honestly it's just starting now to be like low 80s, high 70s. Today it's like 75 and rainy. It's starting to feel like fall, not just in my adamant way where I am burning fall candles, like I've been burning fall candles since August, but also just like outside it feels like like the seasons are starting to change over, which I guess makes sense because this Saturday is the official start of fall. But yeah, pretty much every single night this week, me and my partner have been watching a movie. So my reading time has been cut into significantly, but honestly, it's been such a fun time. So we've seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is the marked ones. I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but I think that the marked ones is like one of the better movies in that franchise. At least my personal favorites are 3 and 5 right now. 4 is my least favorite. So tonight, I think we're gonna watch the 6th one. I think after 4, they stopped like putting numbers in the movies. But we're gonna watch like the Final Dimension, something like that. And I think that's the end of really like the interconnected paranormal activities. And then we have Next of Kin, which I just wish wouldn't be a paranormal activity movie because it's not filmed like 100% in found footage, which is, I feel like, a paranormal activity staple, and it's just like a completely different story. It's a fun enough movie, but I remember I've only seen that one once, so it'll be interesting to rewatch it and see what I think about it. But yeah, we've been watching a lot of movies. Let me know down below if you've watched any of the paranormal activities. What's your favorite one? I think they're such like a fun time. I don't think any of them are like 5-star stellar movies, but they are like very like fun to rewatch there. So yeah, let me know down below if you like those movies. Do you like found footage movies? Also, let me know your favorite found footage movie down below because I love them. They have a lot of flaws that come with the territory of making found footage, and it can get a little tropey, but I do love a found footage movie. That's one of my favorite horror tropes. So yes, I have been reading though, just not as much as normal, which is totally fine. I am about 60% of the way through the Shards, and this is very, very interesting. I definitely think if you liked The Secret History, kind of check this out because this is very dark academia adjacent, because we are following characters who are in high school, and we're following, it's like a literary gossip girl with like their amount of privilege on the East Coast meets a thriller, like dark academia. They're all growing up in this very privileged background while there's a serial killer in the area that they live. So very, very interesting stuff, and it's very long. I don't know if it needs to be this long, and it's definitely like kind of pretentiously written on purpose, I feel like, just like with the rambling and everything like that. Again, American Psycho, you know, there's some like very odd description choices in here where you can spend like a whole entire page describing just like one thing. Lots of tangents about pop culture and things like that, but I'm enjoying it. It's a very, very interesting read. Like, I feel like whether or not this ends up being like a 5-star or a 1-star for me at the end of the day, I feel like I'm not going to be able to say that I've read like a book exactly quite like this, at least this year. So definitely a very interesting, unique writing style that this author has. So I don't know if I'll finish it today. 60% makes me feel like it's possible, but at the same time, this is over 500 pages, so we'll just have to see. Although, who knows, because, you know, if it's gonna be like fall weather outside, if it's gonna be raining, that's perfect reading weather. And then, you know, my partner doesn't get home until later on this evening, so also we normally watch the movies only after the sun has set because it's just hard to see them. So if it keeps storming, me and the pups might have some cozy reading time before my partner comes home and, you know, we start to make dinner and watch another movie. So yes, I'm gonna keep reading the Shards. I also have Vampires of Norte back there. I haven't picked that back up in a couple days because, again, I'm really trying to be good about buddy reading. The first book me and my mom read together, I think I read it in like 2 days. And then just that was not great of me and not great for our buddy read. So I'm trying to keep pace with her, but I am really enjoying that one as well. But I don't have any substantial updates. So that is today's update. I might update either tomorrow morning or later on tonight to wrap up the vlog. Hopefully have some final thoughts on the Shards for y'all, but that's gonna be it. Fingers crossed for just a beautiful rainy day today, and I will talk to y'all later.
Hey friends, happy Friday. It is high time for me to finish this vlog, but I am going to do, got an itchy dog, so gonna let those tags stop jangling. Gonna go ahead and do a quick reading update, and then tomorrow I'm actually filming a really fun and special video that you'll probably see after this one, which is going to be a 24-hour reading vlog to kick off the very first official day of autumn. So very exciting stuff, but I am going to wrap this vlog up so I can start that vlog. We've got a lot of good books on the roster for that I'm very excited about. First up for the reading update, Vampires of El Norte by Isabel Canas. I'm enjoying this one. This is gonna be for my gothic fiction, gothic horror lovers, because there is romance in here. It is slower paced. It's not like from page one non-stop pedal to the metal thrills. So just know that going in there, it is definitely like a quieter, slower paced gothic horror, but I am really enjoying my time reading it and my time buddy reading it with my mom. And then I finally finished this almost 600-page whopper of a thriller, which is the Shards, and I enjoyed this one as well. I think in the middle it started to drag just a little bit. I definitely think, you know, even like 400 pages, 450 pages, heck, even 500 pages, I feel like could have been better pacing for this story. I mentioned before, if you're a fan of The Secret History by Dawn and Tar, you'd enjoy this writing. I learned after that there's this whole thing, like Bret, Easton, Ellis, and Dawn and Tar went to the same college. There's like a lot of stuff and background history and just different things going on there, as well as like some podcast drama and like I think that are bringing up the idea of like, if you're both writers and you have the same experiences, who has the right to tell that story, or if it is an experience involving multiple people and some people aren't in the public eye, some people are, should that be published, how should that be published, fictionized, etc. Really deep rabbit hole if you want to look through, like there's like articles and Reddit posts and all of that, so wow. But honestly, yeah, if you liked The Secret History, if you like privileged, horrible people, I shouldn't say horrible, they're not all horrible, but you know, they're very unlikable. So if you like that, if you like murder and mystery and intrigue and a bunch of privileged teens living their lives amidst academia and also murderous chaos, then I think you'll really like this one. I am interested to check out something else by the author now. I've only read American Psycho and this one, but since I did really enjoy both, I'm interested to see what else this author has on his backlist. So I enjoyed it. Definitely, you know, my dark academia people, if you want just a very interesting book. Sorry, Obi climbed up onto my reading chair and I didn't know he could do that. I don't think he knew he could do that until right now. But where was I? I don't know. I got very distracted. But this was good. This was fun. This was an experience. Definitely, if it's not dark academia adjacent. So yeah, definitely check this out. Very interesting. Also, if you like an unreliable narrator, this is the book for you. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this vlog. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, let me know what you're reading, because now it's officially fall. When you're watching this, it's officially fall, so we're gonna break out our autumnal TBRs. What's the first book you wanna read in fall? What's like your #1 pick? But yeah, let me know. Subscribe to my channel for all of the cozy gaming and bookish content. Stay safe, keep it creepy, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye!